Hi, all. Todd here. It is Tuesday afternoon, and I'm on vacation. And I'm heading to Georgia soon, in a couple days, for the Georgia Renaissance Festival. Should be a lot of fun. I had a blast last year. And some of you wanted to hear my celebrity encounters. Well, this is a fun one. It happened in 1980, and I was out at Las Vegas. This is when my parents were hosting the Jerry Lewis Telethon here locally. And so all the affiliates would go to Las Vegas every year, meet with Jerry Lewis, and they'd have their meetings and what they had planned for that year for the telethon on Labor Day weekend. So my parents did it for, I think, 5 or 6 years here in this area in Charlotte. And so we'd fly out there every year and for the meetings, and I would go along, and my brother Sean would too. And I thought this would be a lot of fun, a fun little story to tell. Well, my mom developed a little friendship with Patty Duke. And so in 1980, because Patty Duke was very involved with the muscular dystrophy telethons, things like that out there. And so one day she was at the pool with Patty Duke. And I had never met Patty before, but I loved the Patty Duke show. I watched it all the time. Well, I went up there. I was actually going up there to get some money from Mom to play in the game room that was right next to the pool where they were at. So her and Patty were sitting there in the sun, and so I went there and, hey, Mom, I need some money so I can go play in the game room. And then Mom said, hey, I want you to meet someone you've seen on television. And so Patty turned around, and my mom introduced me to Patty. And I thought it was the coolest thing. I just flipped out. And I was like, wow, it was great to meet you. It's great to meet you. And she was lovely. She was fantastic. And she just really embraced our meeting and started talking to me. And then she told me, right next to her, this is even funnier. Right next to her was her husband at the time, was John Astin. So I met him as well. They were both, my mom and Patty and John were sitting there at the pool just chilling out. And then Patty goes, hey, I want you to meet my kids. So there were two little boys playing in the pool, and she called to them to come, Sean and Max, to come up to meet me. So they got out of the pool and they came over and meet me, and they were so excited to meet someone new, and I got to meet Sean and Max. Well, what was funny is, probably about 10 minutes later, they're ready to get out of the pool. Well, Sean came up to me and says, hey, I want to show you some of my stuff, some of my toys. And I was like, okay. So they're ready to go up to their room, and Patty said, hey, you want to come up here and with us to see Sean's stuff? And Max was there too. And so sure. So I went up to their room. They had like a suite up there at the Sahara. It was at the Sahara Hotel. Now, this is back in 1980. This is a long time ago. This is before Sean even did Goonies. And so I went up there with him, and he poured out all his Hot Wheels and his Matchbox cars, and he was showing me all his cars, and I dug it. He was really into his Hot Wheels and all his Matchbox cars, and he just threw them all over the floor. And so later, I gave my room number, and I knew where they were at. So later that evening, we just hung out, and we went to the game room, to the pool, and we had a great time and just hung out. Well, the next day, because I met their nanny, they had a nanny with them, and so Patty came up to me and says, hey, you want to do this? And I said, do what? You want to watch Max and Sean for a little bit? And I was like, sure. They want to give the nanny a break. She was probably in early 20s, 19, 20. She was real young at the time, their nanny. And so she gave money to me, and she said, hey, and right across the street from near the Sahara Hotel was the Circus. So we went over there, we played all the video games, we had a blast that day. And that night, and I watched them for a few hours, and we walked around, and we did everything together. We were playing games and stuff like that. And then later that night, we got together again after dinner. We went back to Circus, and the nanny was with us this time, and we went to the magic shop and all that stuff. So that's my little memory of Sean. We hung out together. And the funny thing is that the last day of the meetings at the Sahara Hotel, we went swimming too, went to the pool the next day, went swimming, had a blast. And so the next day, Patty wanted to get a picture of us with the boys. So it was me, Sean and Mack, and their nanny. So we all had a picture taken. Patty had taken a picture. We gave her our address, and she was going to send us a copy of the picture of us all together. So I don't know whatever happened to that picture, if Patty still has it. I don't think we ever got the picture. I don't think she ever sent it. Maybe she probably forgot. But I thought that was a great experience with Sean. If Sean ever watches this video, that was 44 years ago. That was a long time ago. I was so proud of him too. When I saw him in Goonies, I thought it was the coolest thing ever to see Sean doing that. But that was my encounter with Sean and Max and Patty Duke. It was a blast. I think my mom saw her a few more times after that, and that was about it. When they were doing the telethon. But yeah, that was my experience with Sean. If you ever see this, I doubt if you'll remember that. That was such a long time ago, but I definitely embedded in my mind because I met your mom. Because your mom was the sweetest person I ever met. I met your dad, and I just remember us hanging out. So that's my story with Sean and Max, and then of course when he played Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings, I thought it was the coolest thing, and that was awesome. And he's doing great from what I see. Him doing all the conventions. He has his own family. It's fantastic. So yeah, there's my story with Sean and his mom. So that's my story for that one. I got some more I can tell you, but yeah, just thought that was really cool. All right, guys, take care. Bye bye.